Hello, everybody. Deviant Dario here.
Infinite One.
And we got a guest today. Introduce yourself.
What's up? It's Blackjack.
Hey, what's
Yay.
up? Today is another last minute rundown, and we're going to be talking about the latest two. We got Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, taking on Zatanna, the mage of the freaking Justice League. I say mage because, let's be honest, she's basically the white mage, and then some, and dark mage, and red mage.
That's one way to put her.
Yeah.
You don't fuck with the white mage.
You don't. You really don't. All right, so we'll just go straight to it and go to with Scarlet Witch, and I'll let you guys start off with her since you did most of the research on her.
WandaVision.
Oh man. Okay, so don't hate me. I still haven't even finished WandaVision.
All right, the video's over. Bye. What part are you up to? Actually, I'm kind of curious.
I had to leave. I had to come back, or else you think there was a problem. But I left after that comment on purpose.
We figured as much. I've gotten up to what's her face is questioning her actually being pregnant. Like she's pregnant, and like all the weird stuff is happening, and the house is like deformed, and Wanda's losing her shit.
Oh, so like episode 3 or 4?
Maybe.
I'm trying to think what era were they at, because each episode was basically a different era of sitcom.
I don't know, but
you gotta finish. It is actually really good, especially when she.
All I know is it was once she was finally like back, like she was in color. It wasn't black and white anymore.
Okay, so it was probably more like in the 70s, or yeah, that was
somewhere in there. Anyway, see, warping reality, manipulation, chaos magic.
Honestly, multiple forms of magic.
Manipulation, etc. Multiple forms of magic. I'm just covering the main one that she uses. Chaos magic.
That being said, it's a huge list. We're not going to get through literally everything.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna let the boys at Death Battle do that. We're just gonna just sum up the best we can with this, because my God, is it a list?
You really have to like take into account like I really feel for her brother in the aspect of she is so OP. Like her father is incredibly OP, and then she is even more so than Magneto. And then you have her brother just there. Like I can go fast.
I was gonna say, I gotta go fast. Check out my new movie
really,
on Paramount
really
Plus.
Oh gosh. Yeah. To be fair, he did leave somewhat of a legacy, but with the help of the X-Men actor.
Yeah, pretty much.
Seriously, they had to make that bizarre shift just to make him popular again, just to bring out I don't want to spoil it, so I'll just let you watch that.
He rivals the Sorcerer Supreme Wong. No, not Doctor Strange. Wong.
Mm-hmm.
Because people fight me on that all the time. Like, no, they literally state it in the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, because Strange was gone for a while, so someone else had to take the mantle, and he's gonna have to wait till it's his again.
he's gonna kill Wong. Anyway, but she's like you said, she's very, very OP, and anyone who's watched WandaVision or just knows about Wanda in general knows just how powerful she is because of her power.
At the same time,
if you go like in every form in every universe, like she is just like people fear her power. Like even her own teammates. Like when you look at like the old X-Men Evolution TV show, like everyone feared her power. And you even look at the new Marvel movies and how they've portrayed her. Like she's a good guy, but at the same time, they note that she is incredibly unstable and they can't fully trust her to actually unleash her power. Like how many times does she get left behind just because they don't trust her to actually control herself?
And that's one of her weaknesses too. She can't control her immense power.
Mm-hmm. She lets her emotions control it, and that's where it becomes incredibly dangerous for everyone else.
I mean, she did one-shot Doctor Doom, just to give an idea of like how strong she really is physically, but
she nearly genocided the mutants.
She depowered mutants throughout the multiverse
with a sentence, barely a sentence, with 3 words. Just whispers, "No more mutants," and like 90% of it was just just
and-
Mutant Gene
and
was
for anyone
gone.
For anyone who plays D&D, power word kill, basically.
Yes. So this is so random, but I just thought about it when you guys said the whole multiverse thing. I saw this meme on Facebook where it's two different versions of Wanda and then Daredevil. And they're like, what are we all doing here? It's like Doctor Strange apparently summoned people who have lost vision and didn't specify what kind of vision. And I'm like,
She's she's fought many people, many superpowered entities, many sorcerers like herself, including Agatha.
I forgot about that, yeah.
And I know, like, it's not shown in WandaVision, but it happens later on. But Agatha actually teaches her about the chaos magic later down the road.
Yeah, that does get expressed quite a bit too. Like, if I remember correctly, one of the versions of the of the comic books that is shown.
Weeb.
Shut up, leave me alone.
We're all weebs here. Anyway, and her range for her power is, multiversal.
Mm-hmm.
So she can hit you from a different dimension if you really wanted to. And she created House of M, which it really escapes me what it was. That's pretty much all I have to say on Wanda, other than she's like very, very powerful ELP.
She's powerful, and she technically has extra amounts of years of experience. I mean, at least not as much as say like how Doctor Strange was really just to use the Time Stone and just mess around with that for like not even generations, for like a millennia of extra time. But she has done something similar, I think, because she basically with the Darkhold, where she basically just locked her mind in her own time and space, where I think she just spent even more time reading it, and basically time in our regular world would go by normally, but for her it would be even longer. So basically, I guess it's a form of time manipulation, but not complete time manipulation, because that would imply that she has the Time Stone, because that's how those rules work in her universe. So only at a certain degree. Because one implies she does not have full control of time, since they clarified that's something else for that.
And that's a very good clarification, because a lot of people make that mistake and assume she has that control of it.
Though it's understandable.
She can give the illusion that she can, but she truthfully can't.
Yeah, I mean, respectfully speaking, she might as well, her power as a whole might as well be equal to one of the stones, and that's saying a lot.
Well, she can destroy a stone, so
she almost destroyed Thanos. Where's that alternate ending? Save us a whole movie.
Seriously.
Actually, no, that was in the second one. Excuse me. That's another thing. Don't piss her off, because she will go full witch mode. I don't even know what to call it.
You like to her boyfriend?
Yeah.
No, Thanos killed her sex toy. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and then she turned into her imaginary boyfriend, and then the imaginary boyfriend got taken away by the military, and then she just went nah. And then that's right. There's a lot to this, and again, I don't want to say too much because you really got to finish the show. It's just so bonkers towards the end, but it's so good.
Don't worry too much about spoilers. I've gotten quite a few spoilers to the point where I have a good idea of what happens, so I'm not too stressed about it. Like, I still want to watch it to see it for myself, but I already know what happens.
Okay, basically, she made her own Vision, while the real Vision parts were being made to make another Vision, and then the old Vision met her Vision and then had the weird and most bizarre conversation ever, and then that Vision was like, oh wait, so am I real or are you real? Are we fake? Are you fake? And it's like, okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Then he just left, never to be heard from again.
At least until the studio knows what to do with him later.
They literally told Paul Bettany, we'll call you when we need you.
Yeah, there's literally a Vision just floating around in existence, and he's kind of just there.
Alright, so to Satana.
Oh, sorry, I went from talking about Wanda to just actually talking about the show. It was a good show. To be fair, that's basically what we got as reference to work with, how powerful she is now, so it only makes sense. Alright, so Zatanna Zatara, daughter of one of the first known superheroes in the Justice League universe. I mean, like the first. her father being Zatara, a legendary magician of his own right, and basically she learned everything she knew off him and then some. Zatara is a very unique person. Going back where family on both sides are very unique. Her mother is actually the one that is where most of the magic comes from, and father is just being really good at that. But actually, and what was it on the father side? Going way back, Da Vinci himself is even in that bloodline. So she is basically a descendant of Da Vinci.
I remember that.
Yeah, a little random fact about her, but just to give you an idea of how unique her bloodline is. And
artistic and magical.
Yeah, and with her, she needs to be, because even though she may not, she is powerful, but she has known to go against other more powerful villains, and not as much as she had to rely on how powerful she is, but how clever she can use her magic.
And that's where she comes in handy. She's very strategic. She knows that she is weaker than the others, so she strategizes accordingly to make it her advantage.
Exactly. And even then, she has shown feats where she hasn't even been able to have full control of her magic. A little bit more chaotic in compared to Wanda's, ironically speaking. Because at least when Wanda will lose her shit, she'll at least have somewhat control after a while, but at least with Satania, when she goes full beast mode, she will literally summon hell if she has to. Her power is literally limited to her imagination. Whatever she can come up with, she uses lobomancy, which is basically like saying a phrase backwards to activate the spell. Yes, and actually going to bring that up. An alternative would have been to speak it in Latin or other close to dead languages, but she didn't want to do that. It would have relied on her having to literally learn a brand new language.
The languages.
So she cheated it by thinking, hey, why don't I just say it backwards and use that to activate it? And that's what makes her unique. She uses her...
almost more powerful, because you have to keep in mind, you have all these other magicians trying to use the same magic, but having to also learn that language where, like you said, she kind of cheated the system. And if she thinks of something uniquely on her own, if she gets herself to the point where she can flip a word around with just a few moments of thinking about it without having to train ahead of time.
Yeah. At the same time, she has been put in situations where if she can't come up with the situation quick, she has to know how to get out of it by other alternative means. Because, let's see, like Batman, in fact, they both were trained. Her and Batman were both trained by the same, by her father, actually. The original Zatara.
That's why they pair up so frequently. It's because they're both the main gadget users, and they have to rely on their own strength versus the abilities that they've, the others have all their abilities and whatnot. Those two are also kind of the bare minimum.
Yeah, and which is saying something, because that bare minimum definitely pulled through, because those two, both Zatara and Batman, are such OP members of the Justice League.
Oh, yeah.
So they definitely earned earned that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So with Zatara, okay, I'm just gonna break the ice here, because now we know just a little bit enough of Zatara and enough on Wanda. What people are gonna be looking into is, can Zatara bypass Wanda's rune magic? Now that I've really had to go into and really dig in some stuff. So no, I could not really find a foe that Zatara fought that uses magic based on that, or at least any rune magic in general. But she has been in situations where where she was forced to be mute, so she couldn't even say her spells. But she would be able to use her wand, and so even though she couldn't speak it, there was literally at a point where she had to fight some guy who had the clever idea of making a spell where no women in this area can speak. So knowing the situation, all right, I'll do that. It's kind of similar to what Wanda would do with her runes, except basically, what was it? With her runes is only the caster of the runes can use the magic in this area. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That being said,
I think
no, actually, say what?
The biggest downfall.
What?
I feel like that would end up being her biggest downfall is if it was like a sneaky battle where she had the upper hand as far as she was the one going after Wanda, I think it would give her a slight advantage if she was clever enough with it.
Yeah.
But she has to rely too much on other things lining up properly. Whereas, unless she just completely lost all sense of emotion and just kind of, like you said earlier, summons hell.
Yeah, which she literally has. Like, one of the spells is, like, I summon the power of Hades and all this crap, and basically just goes full Dark Souls on this one guy.
Trigon, I need you.
Yeah, right. Well, wrong girl, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we haven't seen Raven fight yet. That's going to be an interesting one.
Oh, that'll be a good one.
Ooh. Next on, well, who's she going to go up against? The real question. But actually, here's something I really want to bring up real quick. Zatara's blood is pure magic as well, because she is literally born of magic, in a sense. So, and it is said that her blood being used to spell out magic, similar to runes, is actually more powerful than her saying the spell. So it is unclear if her blood would be powerful enough to at least, I don't know, not really, I guess, repel, but at least be somewhat...
Counteract.
Yeah, to counteract the rune magic. And that's something I've never been able to figure out because it is not clear how powerful rune magic is. It is stated it is arguably the strongest form of magic in the Marvel universe, but I'm trying to bring those rules over into the DC universe. It's a much different
hard.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because those two really like to keep it different and yet somewhat similar at the same time.
Because fuck power scaling.
Ugh.
And see, that's where, for the most part, like you said, the roles between the two different universes tend to overlap quite a bit. But they obviously have their one-offs, where it's just like, okay, we're going to make the exception here, or we're going to make the exception here. But overall, they're like the rules as far as like the powers and how everything works, it's generally pretty much the same. I think really the only thing I've noticed that's different is with Marvel, the mutants, as they grow, technically their powers can grow and change because it's an extension of them. Whereas in the DC world, most of the people with powers are like aliens, or it's like Batman where he uses gears, or they were born into magic, so it's more of a they have to learn it versus it literally growing as if it was a part of them, like in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, and they even stated, like, with DC, like, with their superpower beings, is like, these are the metahumans. Like, it's not even, like, ironically, I would imagine that was them trying to categorize it as a subspecies, but it's just, like, their way of saying these are, like, these are just the superpower beings in general. At least compared to, like, in Marvel with mutants, that it's a little bit more, what's the word, grounded in comparison to like today's world. Because even when they came up with the idea of X-Men, it was the whole point of being this is a group that's segregated because of being different and not as much being they're just powerful beings. No, there's more of a quirk to it, and that's why each one has their own certain abilities. I mean, hell, that's still being explored even in like newer stuff like what's that one anime, My Hero Academia, I feel like did something similar. But yeah, in trying to compare like how their worlds work and how those in how the powers shift in that format is very weird, because DC and Marvel, like I said before, they like to keep things different in how they interpret their characters and yet still somewhat similar. Yeah, so it's gonna be weird trying to figure this one out, because I'm still stuck on saying it's based on, is Zatara's blood stronger than Wanda's runes? Like that's what I'm stuck on.
Personally, for me, I don't really think there's much comparison, in the simple fact of Zatara's magic has limits. Like, we've seen her limits. Even at her strongest, she still has limits. Whereas with Wanda, based purely on her emotions, her magic could be limitless at this point. Like, even her rune magic, like there's so much, and there's no really like limit for her. Like, she can go through between the multiverses. She can literally pull people from the multiverses. It's one of those things where if you get her in the mindset of she is ready to just fuck you up, like I really don't think she would stand a chance against Wanda.
All right. Because that's the thing. Because I actually found a similar argument, but for Zatanna, that because she has done something similar. She can traverse through other dimensions. She can do weird stuff like that. In fact, there's one version of her where she was just full demon mode, where in order to defeat this one, I don't know if it was another magic user or whatever, she literally crumbled the freaking sheet that he's in, basically fourth wall breaking it. So like it was like something Deadpool would do. Even so it's kind of weird to examine how powerful she really is when they displayed that a version of her can literally just defeat a character by just ripping the sheet out. It's like, wait, what?
That is fair. I guess that's also where it comes, like the difference between DC and Marvel is, like, as far as Marvel goes, they're definitely a lot stricter on their rules.
Yeah.
As far as stuff like that goes, and their loophole for stuff is the multiverse.
Here's the thing, though. I noticed what they both have their share of fourth wall breaking moments, but DC likes to use it in more serious moment compared to Marvel just using it as a comedic matter, of course, because Deadpool is everyone knows how Deadpool works.
Exactly. Like, Marvel uses it as a joke, but never in a serious moment, whereas DC is used in a way of, we don't know how else to get this person out of the situation, so we're going to break the wall and let them do that.
Yeah, and they'll try to make it
DC
scary
uses it as a
to make it
scapegoat.
kind of meta, and it'll work, at least. And you know what? I welcome that, because we're so used to say, that's funny, fourth wall breaking, but never like, oh my god, what if he's actually there? Like, really drive the audience crazy. And that's what they tried to do with Zatanna that one time.
Yep.
And I know there's other crazy stuff that she's done, but I feel like that one specific thing, it definitely kind of helps her even the playing field, if they're willing to go that route. Because, like I said, it's a version of her. So who knows if they're going to use that.
Versions.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's the other hard part there is, and that's the other thing, real big thing, is the fact of with Wanda, the extent of her power is like across the board. Like, no matter which version of her, which universe, which like comic, which show, like no matter where you see Wanda, her power is overkill. Like, everyone fears it. It's like no matter which form you pull of her, you're gonna be scared. Whereas, I don't know. It's definitely, because I forgot about that whole her human form. So it does even the playing field a little bit if you're gonna pull it to that extent.
Yeah.
But even with that took an incredible toll on herself as a person.
Yeah. And depending, if she's done enough times, then she'll be more succumbed to be able to do that multiple times over.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess in that comparison, we know that she can do it. Can she keep up with it at the same time? Because it's also on the, like, I guess not just to be able to commit the feat, but to be able to keep up with it, and her endurance and her experience with magic in general. And we know she's very experienced. So, I don't know. I feel like that's still up to debate.
That is true. I feel like she is more confident in her magic than Wanda, because Wanda is still trying to figure things out and completely in the dark. Because you also have to keep in mind, like, Wanda's power is nothing like her brother's or her father's. It's just there. And she's having to learn and experience it on her own. Whereas Tara is actually trained by her father, like, has a bloodline of it. Like, she has more experience, more confidence in her magic than Wanda.
Wanda's power is Maxima. And there's my bad joke for the evening.
I was gonna say, you were the entire time you were quiet. Were you just thinking of that joke?
Yes.
You're right. That's fine. You earned it. All right. I really don't know.
With my crap too.
I honestly can't think of anything else to add to them. Really, it's pretty. I wouldn't say straightforward, but they're very similar, and this might be a close match.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? I think that's good. I think that's good enough on our end, and we'll call that a night, and we'll see tomorrow. We'll see tomorrow what the heck happens between these two. All right, guys.
I'm excited.
I am excited. Oh my god. I'm also,
Interesting.
and just being me, I'm also just excited who the hell they're gonna have fight after them because because
It's
they
always
come up
fun.
with the most insane freaking matchups now. Some are just beyond ridiculous, but at least now they're actually getting good ones. So this is going to be a good one. All right, guys, thank you for joining us. This was Last Minute Rundown about Zatanna and Wanda. Who's gonna win? Who the frick knows? And that being said, I'm Deviant Dario,
Infinite One.
I'm Blackjack.
and you have a wonderful night.
Bye, y'all.
All right.